Hi, welcome to Arcade Reviews. In today's review, we're going to be looking at the epic magnum opus, The Odyssey, directed by the great Christopher Nolan, starring Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Zendaya, Charlize Theron, Anna Hathaway, and an ensemble cast. So let's start with the pros and cons. So this is my boy Kishan. He'll be joining me for the
What up?
review. So we just, got out of the movie, and we'll be giving you our, raw reaction straight out of the theater.
Yeah.
So Kishan, what did you think of the movie?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome to watch. Just as regardless of if you like Christopher Nolan or not,
Right.
or if you read the Odyssey,
Yeah,
or if you don't watch many movies, it was just epic to watch. Like such a hero based journey and the story behind it.
right.
And yeah, I don't know. I had a great time watching it. I was very entertained. Like
Yeah, I definitely
it's
thought
like
it
a
was
must-watch.
really, really entertaining. You could definitely feel the scale. I thought the performances were really, really well done, especially by Matt Damon. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins an Oscar or if he next year. And I also thought Anne Hathaway did really good as Penelope, and I thought like the non-linear storytelling was pretty well done too.
Mhm.
And I feel like this is like the most straightforward Nolan movie.
Yeah, definitely a lot more straightforward, especially compared to his most recent ones.
Yeah,
Um, it's a lot more straightforward, but I think it works.
definitely works. Yeah,
Like the scenes do more of the carrying themselves
right.
than the complexity of the storyline or, um,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, definitely for me. The first positive is obviously like Kishan mentioned the scale. The scale is massive. You could definitely feel the scale. And what I liked was everything was done with practical effects. So even if it was like minimalistic, you could still feel like the epicness through the screen. So that's what I thought was like really, really epic. And another positive was definitely Matt Damon's performance. He
right,
gives a
yeah,
really grounded performance. He didn't like overdo it, and he gave a really good performance as Odysseus, right?
yeah. He went he played the role well. There was
It was
emotions of
spot on.
from suffering to going through it, and all the mental states of just wanting to come back home, and then finally getting his moment. So I think he played the character so well, and
Yes,
it came through.
yes. And also the set pieces, involving the creatures, such as there's a cyclops in the movie, you know, there's a eight-headed snake in the movie. They just show like the tentacles, but like there's many creatures. There's a witch. Without going into spoilers, I thought that scene was well done. What did you think?
Yeah, definitely. All those scenes were very horror esque,
Oh yes.
and you
Mm,
felt like if you were there with Odysseus's men, bro, it would
exactly.
be so frightening to be in
No.
those moments. So
Yeah.
and it came through, especially with how well they depicted the Cyclops,
Yeah.
making it have realistic skin and being in the cave
Yeah.
and
And I really, really, really liked how he experimented with certain horror elements, like the Cyclops scene was pretty. It was pretty creepy,
mhm,
and also the scene with the witch. He experimented with like body horror. I thought I was watching like a A24 movie for a second.
mhm.
So I really give Nolan credit, for experimenting and not like sticking to anything safe.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't afraid to make a lot more horror elements
Yeah,
in a lot of scenes,
yeah,
and it worked. It worked out very well.
yeah. And I also thought
uh,
the Trojan War scene that was well done.
yeah,
My God, that
it
scene
was
was
so
amazing.
so epic. So
Yeah,
it's absolutely amazing to watch.
yeah,
And when if you ever hear about the story and you depict a war starting from
exactly.
people sneaking into a horse,
Yeah,
this is how it would be and how imaginative and epic it finally turns out to be after it rolls out. So
no, 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 yeah,
a lot of the scenes had a lot of grand elements to it, and Christopher Nolan did the right job directing.
Yeah.
directing and doing the cinematography.
And I also have to
Nolan's.
give credit to Ludwig, who also
Mhm.
did the score for Oppenheimer.
Right.
My God, he popped off in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those scenes did really well. Like Nolan, you can like with a lot of Nolan movies, you can tell like he likes to progress with, uh, like the audio experience as well.
Yeah.
And building the tension, and like it worked well in three big acts, and mm, yeah,
Yeah.
it was supplemented well by
yeah.
like
And
no
you guys are not
complaints
ready for the third act. The third act is like batshit crazy. I thought that's especially for like action
Mhm.
lovers who's like expecting like a massive build up. I thought Nolan
Right.
did that really well. I didn't even expect that from Nolan.
Mhm.
You know, I didn't expect like a full on, just straight like John Wick type action sequences, especially in the third act. I thought that was really well
And
done.
it was so satisfying. Like the
It was
build
satisfying,
the build
yeah.
up was so well done, and you're like, especially, I mean, not to get too much into spoilers, but
Yeah.
after being away for so long,
Exactly.
towards the end, you're like, okay, will he finally reveal himself? Will he finally reveal himself?
Yeah.
And when he, it takes a moment, but when it finally does, it's
Yeah.
a nice feeling.
I really like the themes in the movie. Like, there's a lot of about like self-reflection,
Mhm.
about like forgiveness, about hope, about bravery. I feel like Nolan handled the themes like really well.
Yeah,
What
and
do you think?
Agreed. Like everything you said, like those themes came through, as well as learning from your mistakes.
Learning from your mistakes. Yeah.
You know, and Odysseus was like a leader, like a proper
Yeah.
leader, and
Strategic.
even though as a leader, like you're bound to make some
Yeah.
some questionable calls,
Yeah.
and
And he was
you-
flawed.
you have
That's
a
what I liked.
lot of
They didn't shy away from
responsibility in
that.
your hand,
Yeah.
and you can tell he was just faced with a lot of heavy decisions as a character, and Matt
Yeah.
Damon really delivered to show that
yeah.
Odysseus was like.
Yeah. He was spot on as
Mhm.
Odysseus. Oh, and Robert Pattinson.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal performance as Antonius. He's the antagonist in the movie. I don't want to get into like any spoilers, but he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
think of his performance?
He did great. Like when you expect Robert Pattinson does really well with any like mysterious or sort of like edgy like villain character role, and it like came through with his, and
Yeah.
you didn't like the character, and I think it just shows how well Robert Pattinson did.
Yeah. And Anne Hathaway was also really good in the limited scenes that she was in. She had like a pretty emotional arc, longing for her husband because her husband's been, gone for so long. So, her longing for her husband, that was, she portrayed that really well as Penelope. So that was well done.
And you can tell Penelope's scenes had a Anne Hathaway's like touch to it.
Exactly.
But it worked. Like
Yeah.
She has like the motherly role to her, and yeah, like I have no complaints from Anne Hathaway as well, and especially as well as Calypso, like the scenes that involve her.
Oh yeah, Charlize Theron. She was phenomenal.
She was great. Like there's no no complaints there. Like she was awesome in the scene she was in.
So guys, so the pros, like we mentioned, the performances for the most part were spot on. There were a couple of performances that were kind of iffy, which we'll get to in a few. But obviously, the performances, the action set pieces were well done. The themes were explored, and Nolan's direction, screenplay was also really good. And you didn't feel, even though the movie runs for 2 hours 52 minutes, I believe, you didn't feel like bored for a single moment. You know what I mean? And the non-linear storytelling actually helped the movie in a way. It kept you engaged.
There were definitely some scenes where the conversation was going a bit long.
It was going a bit long, but
I think it, if you're patient enough, like it pays off when the acts, when the climax happens for each act.
Definitely a massive payoff.
Like, and it's one thing if you always have some sort of action and not as much slow scenes, and I the slow scenes never felt like they didn't pay off, is what I'm trying to say. So I think there may be some slow scenes, but it pays off if you're just patient enough with each act.
And they tied the movie really well. Like the ending was really good. They tied it back to the Trojan War and the implications of that without getting into spoilers. But I thought that was well done. And Nolan does that in all his movies. He ties up the movie really well.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are all the positives that we mentioned. So
Yeah.
let's get into some of the cons of the movie. So Kishan, what do you think?
Yeah,
What
I
are the
think
cons?
the only major thing I had was you know, I feel like like
Telemachus, yeah.
Telemachus like performance is casted by
Tom
Tom
Holland,
Holland
yeah,
was a bit off, and especially in the first few scenes, like
I agree.
he, I understand Telemachus at the very beginning has like a young boy role where he doesn't even know his father,
Yeah,
and he's starting this quest of like trying to find his father,
yeah,
but the young boy's sort of archetype always stays throughout the movie, and it never
yeah.
feels like Telemachus has like a moment where he has learned something or he has matured in a way. It just always feels like, you know, he is second to whoever's in the room, whether it be Robert Pattinson's character or Odysseus' character at the end. It never feels like he stands on his own, and or like, yeah, I don't know.
No,
What do you
no,
think?
I definitely agree with you guys. So the first 10 minutes, definitely he has to carry the first 10 minutes
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of the exposition it focuses on Tom Holland's character, Telemachus, and I just thought there was something off about his acting, especially in those first 10 minutes, because he's portraying a prince,
Yeah,
right? But it was giving more like more like a like you mentioned like a child or like a high school someone in high school. It didn't give like a prince feel. So
and to be specific, like I understand this is Nolan's adaptation of the Odyssey, which is a
yeah,
bit more modern version, so some of the dialogue may be changed
yeah,
for the modern audience in today's English. But I think the dialogue where Tom Holland uses the words "dad"
dad,
instead of
that
his
definitely threw me off.
father was like just one instance where um, Tom Holland doesn't really deliver as well with his
Mm,
lines, and it takes you out of the
yeah,
moment,
yeah,
the immersive experience, just as
yeah,
a bit, and then you have to come back in. So
yeah,
um,
definitely like in those first 10 minutes I would say I think that's where most of the complaints is. Definitely
yeah,
Tom Holland's acting was a bit off, but as the movie progressed, his acting did get better. As you know, the emotional stakes were at a high and all that stuff. The movie definitely his acting did get better.
yeah, he had scenes where he did well,
Yeah, and then he
but
had some scenes where it was like definitely off.
but yeah, he had scenes he did well, but there were definitely scenes where
It
it didn't.
was
It felt more like Tom Holland than it did like Telemachus or someone who's playing that
yeah,
character, and it took you out of the immersive experience.
yes. And another negative that I thought since I've read the book,
Mm-hmm.
for personally for me, Athena's casting, Zendaya, I thought I don't know something about her dialogue delivery was
Right.
off as well. What did you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think when you think of Athena, you think of some Greek goddess
Exactly.
who is either guiding you or acting in some like spiritual way. But
Yeah.
like, you know, visually it seems like that. She's there as a ghost kind
Yeah.
of, but the way she delivers her dialogues is not as impactful as you think of a Greek goddess.
Yes.
Like every other part in this movie, when you think of like the voyage of these soldiers going from Ithaca to Troy, like that is so dramatic and adventurous and epic. And then you have like each
Yeah.
soldier's like energy and the way their costumes are.
Yeah.
It's like all epic. But then Zendaya's like, uh, you know, her appearance is already not too grand, and then her dialogue doesn't make it even better
Yeah.
and doesn't add on to it. Um,
I just feel like you needed a more like powerful actress for that. Or you needed someone who had like a different voice modulation that
yeah,
makes you believe that they're a goddess. And I think the problem with the casting, mainly Tom Holland and Zendaya, is they're too mainstream. They're everywhere, and when you see them in these movies, they're obviously like really good performers, but obviously you see them in Spider-Man and you see them in all these like big budget movies. And when you see them in movies where they have scope to like perform, I feel like you only see them as Zendaya, you see them as Tom Holland because you see them on social media a lot. And I feel like that throws you out of the experience because they could have casted like a less known actor, and I feel like they could have
Yeah.
actually convinced you of that character. Because like with Matt Damon and Anne Hathaway, I feel like they played their part really well. When they're playing Odysseus or Penelope, they're actually playing those characters, and you don't see them as Matt Damon or you don't see them as Penelope
Yeah.
or Anna Hathaway, excuse me, or even oh yeah, Himish Patel.
Yeah.
He was good.
Or I guess like with Penelope, for example, like it has Anne Hathaway's touch,
Yeah,
but it works. It works for Penelope.
it works for Penelope.
And Odysseus has sometimes there are scenes where it has Matt Damon's touch, where you see some of his acting in like The Martian or
Yeah,
other movies.
or Jason Bourne,
Yeah.
or movies like that.
And it's not for most of the time as it is not as strong as it is for like Anne Hathaway with
Yeah.
Penelope.
Yeah,
But the scenes that does it matches Odysseus's character and what they've been building up. But with Zendaya, she doesn't have that many scenes already, and the scenes she does show up, the lines are delivered. I don't know. It just felt a little bit soft.
it definitely
it felt like she
felt
was done
off for me
softly.
because I've read the book
Mhm.
as well, and for me, to get to the cons, I think these were the main cons, like mainly Tom Holland's casting as Telemachus, and then Zendaya's casting as Athena.
Yeah, I think the best comparison is like the actress in Calypso.
Yeah,
Like, both of them have such few scenes.
yeah,
They're like very short moments throughout the movie.
but there's a huge contrast.
But with Calypso, you feel like, he is trapped with her
Yeah,
and she has a bind over him.
yeah,
You don't feel anything when Athena's on. Like, it just feels like a ghost going through.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Hey
don't
guys,
know.
I think these were the main cons. It was mainly the casting of Tom Holland, Zendaya, and like Kishan said, some of the modern dialogues like dad.
I think, yeah, if they said father, it would have
Yeah,
been,
father would have been better because it happens in the beginning, especially in the first 10 minutes when Tom Holland is like delivering those lines, and it definitely throws you off. You have to get used to it, especially since it's set like 3,000 years ago or
Mhm.
something. It takes some time to get used to his dialogue delivery. And
think-
also I thought like it's kind of exposition heavy in the first 15 minutes,
Right.
and not necessarily a negative, but I feel like you need some patience. But after that it gets going. After those first 15 minutes it never stops. The pacing is pretty good after that, but I feel like the pacing was the editing was kind of clunky in the first 15 minutes, but after that it finds its footing and it gets better. What do you think?
Yeah, I can see how it could feel like that for the first 15 minutes. But I think this movie is worth it because like
For sure.
no matter if you're just patient enough, like it doesn't overdo all the slow scenes or even at the beginning it doesn't like
Yeah, it
it's
doesn't.
not too much of a factor where you feel like when it finally starts to get going, like you feel like okay, like now it's fine. Like they had to set up the story a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Is there any other cons that you saw?
Yeah, it was just a fun movie to watch for the first time.
Definitely
It
fun,
definitely
guys.
needs a rewatch as
Yeah.
with any Nolan movie.
Definitely, we're planning to watch it in 70 millimeter.
Yeah, we watched it.
Yeah. We watched it
for
in
ref-
IMAX.
Digital IMAX.
Digital IMAX, and after it definitely requires a second watch just for the intricate details that Nolan has presented us with.
Right. What do you
That-
think of Travis Scott's role or his screen time?
I thought it wasn't that distracting, honestly.
Yeah, I thought now they got it out of the way in the beginning,
Yeah,
so I felt
yeah.
reassured where okay, maybe you won't see Travis
Because guys,
Scott
I was
again.
honestly
it's
concerned when I saw the
definitely-
trailer. I was concerned,
It's
but
definitely distracting. Like when he comes up again, it's like there's a split moment when you're like, oh, it's Travis Scott. So it takes you out. It takes
does,
you
it does.
off guard, and you take him a little bit unseriously. But like, the role he plays isn't that
it isn't that significant, so it
Significant
doesn't
enough,
really
yeah.
throw you out of the experience.
right.
But for people like us who do listen to Travis Scott, we're taken aback. We're like, wow, he's actually like a Greek character.
It's definitely just a tiny bit distracting.
Yeah,
But I guess it's Nolan's way of trying to get more people to come watch.
Yeah.
Such a legendary like story.
yeah. And I forgot to add, Himish Patel. Definitely a positive. He travels with Odysseus, Matt Damon throughout the movie, and I thought his performance was really
Yeah,
good.
it was like a perfect fine line between like acting as his advisor and giving advice, but also like if he was, you can't trust him alone to be the leader of the group.
Right.
There are moments where he gives some decisions to Odysseus, uh, and then there's also other moments where, you know, they break mutiny and he does some questionable acts.
He does some
So it was
questionable
like
acts,
it was a
yeah.
fine line between someone who you can tell Odysseus is good at playing the hard part of being the group leader. But sometimes he can still make mistakes, and that's where his character comes in.
Yeah.
So Himesh Patel really did well as that character. He walked that line really well.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else are we missing in the casting.
What about the other
John
actresses?
Berthenol?
Oh, John Berthenol. Yeah, he did well.
He did well. And then Lupita from Black Panther, she did really good. As I know, the movie did, as you guys know, it got a lot of backlash for its casting, right? For Helen's casting. But I thought, honestly, in the movie, I thought it wasn't too glaring. I thought it was she performed really well.
It's not. It's like the scene she did have was in.
Yeah.
It was like it just did the job. Like it wasn't distracting.
It wasn't distracting.
But it also wasn't like anything extraordinary. You feel like, wow, like that was like an amazing performance. It was just, it played the role and it did its job. Whereas compared to Tom Holland and Zendaya, there were moments where Zendaya underdelivered. With Tom Holland, it took you out.
It took you out
just a few scenes
because of the dialogue too.
So but every other actress and actor did really well, especially.
Yeah, especially
and
Yeah, and another thing was the cinematography. Beautiful.
Yeah, but that's expected with every.
It's expected with any.
But it's like you can be reassured knowing that these scenes are so beautiful and so well positioned, artistic, aesthetically so beautiful, and the scale, like there's just so many scenes with the ocean and these Greek islands. They're all so beautiful, and they just make it. It really feels like if you were traveling along this voyage, to go to war and come back, and try to find home after all this adversities and hardships, that you really feel immersed with that sailor experience and also being a soldier during this time.
Oh, I agree with you. After watching this movie, I want to visit those locations because Nolan shot the movie in live locations and like Greece and all that stuff. So I want to go to those places, and in a day and age of like AI, CGI, I really respect directors who actually go above and beyond, to create art which immerses you in the experience. And I love directors who actually go on location and shoot the film that it's intended to be seen. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Like,
because everything was like practical for the most part, except I think it was only one scene, I believe, that was a little bit of CGI. Even then, knowing Nolan, I feel like he did something practical, but I'm not sure. But
yeah,
for the most part,
I mean, I never found any scenes to feel like, oh, this had like obvious CGI.
Yeah,
and it felt real. Like it felt physically real. Yeah, you can tell he put a lot of attention to some of these. They're like not grand per se, like in design. They're very minimalist set designs, but they still convey the like epicness and the sort of they convey the time period of what was going on.
I agree. So yeah, what do you want to give this film? Like, what rating do you want to give this film? So out of 5.
Out of 5, I would say tentatively like a range between 4.5 and 5. I think it needs a second rewatch to solidify like a review, but like off the first rip, like it was a awesome movie to watch.
Awesome movie. For me, definitely it's a 4.5 right now. I'm definitely gonna go watch it in IMAX 70mm. We saw it in IMAX. That in itself was an immersive experience with the sound and everything. But
what do you think about the audio? Do you think it was too loud? I know with Tenet, there's complaints of audio scenes being too loud.
Yeah, I mean there were certain moments. I wouldn't say it's a big con, but I feel like for some people, It is a con. I feel like the sound did, overtake like some of the dialogues.
You felt that way?
Yeah, in some scenes. But like in scenes like the Cyclops scene, I feel like it was needed for the experience.
Right.
Because they're in a cave, right? So like you need that experience. So yeah, I mean, I thought like some of you couldn't hear some of the dialogues, but it didn't take me out of the movie in any shape or form. So
Personally, I thought it was great. I think when you have crescending, like ascending, like tone music, when it gets slowly louder, it's a perfect way to build tension, and like he does it well, and
he definitely does it well.
I don't recall any dialogue being, or not remember hearing any dialogue through the loud audio, but if there was, I thought it paid off and it worked well.
For sure. So yeah, you guys should definitely go watch this on the biggest screen possible. Definitely deserves.
Definitely a theater watch.
Definitely a theater watch, a theatrical experience.
It definitely adds to the immersiveness of being on Odysseus's journey.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys can, go watch it in IMAX or IMAX 70mm, because that's what Nolan, filmed the movie for, right? It's filmed for IMAX, and that's how he intended us to see the film. So definitely, it's worth putting the extra bucks to go watch it in IMAX, so you get the immersive experience.
And we'll be planning to do that.
We're definitely planning, and we hope you guys get the same experience as us. And we would love to know your thoughts as well in the comments below.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for watching.